When the female CEO brought her first love home, I was holding a pan, about to ask if I should cook a few more dishes, when I saw that first love point at me and say, "So everything in those novels was true. The moment I went abroad, you kept a substitute at home." I looked down at the chef's uniform I was wearing and the spatula in my hand. No one told me I was part of this drama. Before I could even react, I heard Zhu Ran suddenly continue, "No wonder, Akai, all these years, you barely cared about me. So it was because you already had someone new by your side, and completely forgot about your old love. Even now that I'm back, you still can't bear to send this substitute away. In that case, I'll step aside and let you two be happy." Watching Zhu Ran look so upset, I was instantly pulled into the scene. What kind of script was this? Wasn't I hired by the female CEO because of my excellent cooking, with an 8 million a year salary to work as a chef in her villa, just to help take care of her stomach condition? How did I suddenly become a stand-in? Jiang Kai couldn't help frowning. "Du Ran, what are you talking about? You were abroad for these 3 months. Didn't I fly over to see you every week? How was that ignoring you? And this is Shen Luo, the chef at home, not some messy substitute you're talking about." A tear suddenly rolled down Zhu Ran's cheek. What kind of chef is this young? I like wearing white clothes, and he wears white clothes too. If he isn't a substitute, what is he? Why lie to me? I looked down at the white chef's uniform I was wearing, then looked at Zhu Ran's white silk shirt. The corner of my eye twitched. The only thing the two had in common was that they were both made of white fabric. I sighed and said, "Mr. Zhu, I really am the chef. If you don't believe me, you can go check the kitchen. The chicken soup I made is still simmering on the stove." Zhu Ran covered his ears. "I'm not listening. Even if there is soup, you must have staged it on purpose to fool me." Jiang Kai looked helpless. "Then what will it take for you to believe Shen Luo is just the chef? Make him leave, and I'll believe it." Zhu Ran looked as if he had seen through everything. That's how it is in novels. The first love and the substitute can never coexist. Otherwise, sooner or later, this substitute will replace my place as your first love. Besides, I don't want to lose you. So he has to leave. After hearing him say that, Jiang Kai's brows furrowed even more. She looked at me hesitantly. Her stomach condition had only just improved thanks to my cooking, and now she basically couldn't do without it. But if she didn't send me away, Zhu Ran clearly wouldn't let it go. After a moment, Jiang Kai finally made a decision. She walked over to me and said in a low voice, "I know our agreement says you live here, but given the situation, I'll have to trouble you to move to the large apartment nearby. I'll reimburse your commute at double the rate. Also, I'll give you 3 extra months of salary as compensation. What do you think?" My eyes lit up instantly. Jiang Kai's large apartment was only 5 minutes from the villa. Now I could not only get double commuting pay, but also earn 3 months of salary for free. A huge win. I nodded without hesitation. "No problem. MS. Jiang, do you need me to help right now?" As I spoke, I took out my phone and prepared to contact a moving company. Jiang Kai was clearly stunned for a moment, probably not expecting me to agree so readily. A strange feeling seemed to flash through her heart. She opened her mouth, but in the end only nodded. "Move, then." The moving company's truck arrived very quickly. While I was directing the workers to move my luggage, Zhu Ran looked down at me from above. "Shen Luo, even if you took advantage of my absence and slipped in for a while, aren't you still leaving in disgrace now? In Akai's heart, I'm the most important one. No matter how hard you try, a substitute will always only be a substitute." I had just received the bank transfer notification. The 7-figure compensation payment was practically glowing. Zhu Ran, who had helped me get that compensation, suddenly looked much more pleasant in my eyes. I smiled and echoed him. "Yes, yes, yes. In MS, Jiang's heart, you're the most important. How could I ever compare to you?" Zhu Ran snorted coldly. "At least you know your place." Then he held his head high and left. Not far away, I heard the housekeeper ask which room he wanted to stay in. Without even thinking, he said, "I'll stay in the room Akai filled with photos of me. To miss me." The housekeeper was confused. "There isn't such a room, is there?" He immediately raised his voice. "How could there not be? In novels, after the first love goes abroad, the CEO always has a locked room that no one is allowed to enter, used specifically to keep photos of the first love. If you don't know, just say you don't know. How can you say it doesn't exist? I didn't hear the rest clearly. I only shook my head and observed 2 seconds of silence for the housekeeper. After moving into the large apartment, my days became very relaxed for a while. Aside from having Uncle Liu escort me every day, so I could avoid Ju Ran's line of sight and sneak back to the villa to cook 3 meals a day for Jiangkai, I was carefree the rest of the time. While I became healthier and more energetic, housekeeper Liu visibly withered. During another pickup, I finally couldn't help asking, Uncle Liu, has work at the villa been that busy lately? Why do I feel like you haven't slept well in a long time? Uncle Liu sighed. Don't even mention it. Mr. Zhu has nearly worn me out lately. On his first day at the villa, he wanted the CEO to fire me, and the reason was that I didn't tell him. He was the first man the CEO had ever brought home. The next day, he asked me whether the CEO had not smiled for 10 years after he left. I merely showed him a photo of Miss Jiang smiling during an interview 2 days ago, and he got so angry he threw my phone. Uncle Liu finally found someone to vent to, and complained about everything Ju Ran had done over the past week. Watching Uncle Liu talk nonstop, I felt a wave of relief. Luckily, I moved to the large apartment on the first day. Otherwise, being dragged into Ju Ran's dramatic story every day would probably shorten my life, but clearly I had been relieved too soon. My peaceful days had only lasted 2 days before the doorbell of the large apartment was pressed like an alarm. As soon as I opened the door, Ju Ran shoved past me and rushed in. Like a peacock inspecting its territory, he circled the room once. No wonder you left so easily back then. So you had another house hidden here. My eyebrow twitched. I just wanted to send him away quickly. Mr. Zhu, I really am only a chef. If you don't believe me, I can show you my employment contract. I took out the contract and handed it to Ju Ran. When his eyes landed on the annual salary, 8 million? He snatched the contract and slapped it onto the coffee table. What kind of chef gets such a high yearly salary? This must be your allowance. I earn money with my own hands. For him to say that was simply insulting. I couldn't take it anymore, so I took out my phone and called Jiangkai. MS. Jiang, can you please manage your first love? A heavy sigh came from the other end of the phone. Let him answer. Ju Ran looked disdainful when he took the phone, but his expression changed as he listened. In the end, he glared at me fiercely, said I understand into the phone, and hung up. He raised his chin and returned to his arrogant posture. You're lucky today. But don't think I'm letting you off just like that. Akai is only being fooled by you right now. Soon she'll know that a counterfeit like you can never compare to me. After making his threat, he left. Listening to the door slam loudly, I wondered if I should ask Jiangkai for emotional damages. To keep Ju Ran from causing more trouble, I stopped going to the villa for the next few days. Every day after I finished cooking, I had housekeeper Liu take the food to Jiangkai in lunch boxes. That day, when Uncle Liu came again, besides the lunch boxes, he also brought an invitation to Ju Ran's welcome back banquet. Looking at the gold-stamped invitation, I felt my temples throbbing. Just as I was about to refuse, Uncle Liu continued. Ms. Dion has been pestered by Mr. Yu until she has no choice. She said that as long as you attend, you'll get 10 times the overtime pay. He looked at me with an expression that said my life was unfairly lucky. I immediately changed my attitude. Overtime pay or not doesn't matter. As long as Miss Jiang needs me, I will gladly help. The welcome back banquet was held at Miss Jiang's villa. When I arrived, Ju Ran was playing the piano. A soft spotlight fell on him, finally giving him a bit of that first love aura. The wealthy heirs and business elites attending the banquet all came over to greet me when they saw me. Is Mr. Shen the chef for tonight's banquet? Then we really are in for a treat. Mr. Shen, have you considered changing jobs recently? My mother has been craving your cooking. The piano music stopped abruptly. Everyone instinctively looked toward Ju Ran. He picked up the microphone and looked at the people around me with anger in his eyes. Let me introduce myself. I am Jeong Kai's first love. The person you're surrounding is just an unpresentable substitute. It's fine if you want to flatter someone, but don't flatter the wrong person. That would cost you more than it's worth. Everyone looked at one another, all wearing confused expressions. Then continued chatting with me. Ju Ran decided that during the time he had been away, I had won everyone over. He was furious, but soon seemed to think of something. As if changing faces, he smiled and said to me, although I played fairly well just now, I've heard Mr. Shen is even more talented. Why not play a piece for everyone? If you don't, that means you look down on them. When he said this, Ju Ran wore an expression, as if he were waiting to watch a show. He had already asked around. Shen Liuo was tone deaf by nature. Forget the piano, he couldn't even play a coin properly. If I went up to play the piano, I would definitely embarrass myself in front of everyone. By then, Akai would know this substitute was nothing like him. Ju Ran seemed to have already imagined my embarrassing moment, and his face was full of smugness. But without even thinking, I said, you heard wrong. I don't know how to play the piano at all. Ju Ran's smugness froze. He looked at me in disbelief. You're just admitting it directly? In novels, doesn't the substitute always force himself to imitate the first love even if he knows nothing? Why aren't you doing that? By the end, he was almost losing composure. This was the welcome banquet he had carefully prepared, all to make Shen Liuo embarrass himself in public. Jeong Kai happened to finish her work and come over. Seeing Ju Ran's face flushed, she quickly asked with concern, what's wrong? He immediately grabbed Jeong Kai's hand. Akai, Shen Liuo bullied me. Jeong Kai looked at me without hesitation. I immediately raised my hands. I didn't. The people around us started explaining to Jeong Kai what had happened. She rubbed her temples, visibly much more exhausted. Just go play a little. I'll raise your overtime pay to 20 times. I instantly beamed. MS. Jeong is generous. I walked toward the piano and randomly struck the keys with my fingers. The sound I made compared with Ju Ran's piano music was simply worlds apart. Ju Ran laughed smugly and looked around expectantly, ready to enjoy the sight of everyone mocking me. However, the guests only clinked glasses with one another, as if they hadn't heard anything at all. He suddenly stood up, unable to believe it. Why aren't you laughing at Shen Liuo? Why aren't you saying he's from a humble background and unfit for this kind of place? Someone looked puzzled. He just doesn't know how to play piano. What's there to laugh at? Besides, piano isn't the measure of a person. Mr. Shen may not know piano, but his cooking is on the level of a state banquet. Everyone has things they're not good at. We should allow people to have weaknesses. Aren't these banquet background characters supposed to mock the embarrassed substitute? Why aren't you laughing? For a moment, the air was so quiet, one could hear the champagne bubbles. A wealthy young lady sneered. It seems Mr. Ju's banquet is too precious. We're only worthy of being background props. In that case, we won't stay here and be an eyesore. Most of the people present left one after another. No matter how Jeong Kai apologized, they refused to stay. Jeong Kai's head ached, but Ju Ran was still shouting, let them leave if they want. They offended me, Akai's first love. Tomorrow I'll ask Akai to make their companies collapse. As soon as he said that, the remaining guests were unwilling to stay too. They glanced at Ju Ran as if looking at someone unstable, then all left. Just like that, the welcome banquet ended unhappily. I was about to leave as well, but Ju Ran grabbed my wrist. You can't go. The banquet turned out like this. Shen Liuo must have tried to frame me and make me look bad. You have to help me punish him. Jeong Kai's face darkened. The disappointment in her eyes couldn't be hidden. Oran, can you stop making a scene? How did you become like this? Ju Ran's face instantly turned pale. You're defending this substitute and treating me like this? You say I've changed? Clearly, you're the one who changed. It seems that between the two of us, you've chosen him. You'd better not regret it. After saying that, he grabbed his coat and rushed out of the villa. I patted Jeong Kai on the shoulder solemnly. That was hard on you. Also, remember to transfer the overtime pay to my card. I was just about to leave When I saw Jiang Kai's face turn pale, one hand tightly covering her stomach. At a glance, I knew her stomach condition had flared up again. Now I couldn't leave even if I wanted to. I quickly helped Jiang Kai sit down on the sofa, then went to the kitchen to make stomach-soothing porridge for her. After taking care of Jiang Kai the whole night, her complexion finally looked much better. I stretched and was just about to leave the villa when I saw Zhu Ran pacing outside the door. Clearly, because Jiang Kai had not chased after him last night, he was too embarrassed to come in. When he saw me, he looked utterly shocked. I was only gone for one night, and Akai couldn't wait. To have you stay with her? Fine. You're even more scheming than I thought. But don't get too pleased. I have plenty of ways to deal with you. I no longer wanted to bother with Zhu Ran. I always felt that talking to him lowered my intelligence. I was preparing to leave when Zhu Ran seemed to make up his mind and rushed into the villa. Akai, after reflecting for the whole night, I know I was wrong. I also know Shen Liuo is very important to you. I won't drive him away anymore. Can you forgive me? Seeing Zhu Ran suddenly soften, Jiang Kai's face quickly softened too. It's best that you can understand. In that case, Shen Liuo moved back to the villa. I happen to need you very much these next 2 days. I knew Jiang Kai meant her stomach condition, but Zhu Ran clearly misunderstood again. Seeing that Jiang Kai did not deny it, and even used the opportunity to bring me back, his face became even paler. The look he gave me was filled with resentment. However, he soon gave me a nasty smile. My eyebrow twitched. I had a feeling things would not be peaceful next. While I was on edge, housekeeper Liu seemed to have finally found an ally. Every day, he came to the kitchen to whisper complaints about Zhu Ran with me. Once, right after he finished complaining, Zhu Ran's voice sounded behind us. Akai, look, Shen Liuo lost you so much money. And he slacks off at work too. The money he meant was my salary. Jiang Kai didn't understand his meaning, but her brows still furrowed instinctively. Uncle Liu, when managing household affairs, you also need to know your limits. Uncle Liu forced a smile and left the kitchen. Seeing that Jiang Kai only spoke to Uncle Liu and not me, Zhu Ran's gaze became even more resentful. That day, I was preparing lunch in the kitchen when Zhu Ran suddenly rushed in and snatched away my knife. Shen Luo, don't think you can keep feeling proud. Today is the day you get driven out of the Jiang family. As he spoke, he picked up the knife and pierced the blood pouch at his waist. Then he immediately cried out in pain. Wait! I only wanted to help you chop vegetables. Why did you use a knife to hurt me? Hearing the noise, Jiang Kai quickly came downstairs and caught Zhu Ran as he fell toward the floor. Her brows knotted tightly. Shen Luo, I know you've been wronged during this time, but you still can't hurt someone. I calmly pointed above my head. MS, Jiang, there are cameras in the kitchen. Instead of deciding who's at fault, you should check the footage first. Zhu Ran clearly had not expected that. Panic flashed through his eyes. Seeing that Jiang Kai was about to check the cameras, he immediately grabbed her, crying miserably. Kai, it hurts so much. Don't worry about the cameras yet. Can you take me to the hospital first? Hearing this, Jiang Kai quickly had someone send Zhu Ran to the hospital. After thinking about it, I asked Uncle Liu to handle the camera footage, then followed them to the hospital. After entering the consultation room, Zhu Ran saw that no one was around, grabbed the doctor's hand, and slipped him a card. Later, say my kidney was badly damaged by the knife, and that I need the kidney of the man who came with me. Transferred to me. Understand? The doctor's hand froze while holding the card. His expression became complicated, but Zhu Ran thought everything was ready. He immediately ordered the doctor to push him out of the consultation room in a wheelchair. Jiang Kai rushed over as soon as she saw Zhu Ran being pushed out. Doctor, how serious is he? Do I need to contact a well-known doctor overseas to come perform surgery? The doctor opened his mouth, not knowing what to say. Seeing this, Zhu Ran glared at the doctor in frustration, then weakly said on his own, the doctor said my kidney was damaged by the knife. I need a kidney transplant immediately. I think Shen Liuo's kidney would work. He hurt me, so he should pay a price. After saying that, he looked at me smugly, as if certain Jiang Kai would take my kidney for his sake. I was speechless. After all this commotion, Zhu Ran had actually come to the hospital to target my kidney. Did he really think this was a novel? Jiang Kai also frowned and looked at him, putting aside whether Shen Liuo's kidney would even match, even if it did. Forcing someone to give an organ is illegal. Ran, how could you have such an idea? The smugness on Ju Ran's face froze. His mouth opened, but he couldn't speak for a long time. It was as if he hadn't expected Jiang Kai to go off script. At this moment, the doctor seemed to finally come back to his senses and breathed a sigh of relief. He cleared his throat, took out the card, and returned it to Jiang Kai. Miss Jiang, here's what happened. Mr. Ju just gave me this card and tried to bribe me into claiming he had kidney failure and asking for Mr. Shen's kidney. If I hadn't heard what you just said, I was already planning to call the authorities. Fortunately, Miss Jiang, you understand the law. In that case, I can feel relieved. When you have time, please advise Mr. Ju not to have such dangerous thoughts again. And don't treat the hospital like a stage. He only smeared some fake blood on himself, then came here taking up medical resources. After speaking, the doctor returned to the consultation room. Before he entered, I heard him mutter quietly, "Some people really damage their brains reading too many novels." He even tried to hand me a card, not even giving me the password. Did he really think this was a drama? I really wanted to laugh out loud, but seeing Jiang Kai's darkened expression, I knew the occasion was inappropriate, so I held it in. Ju Ran saw the disappointment in Jiang Kai's eyes and argued in panic, "Ah Kai, look, I lost so much blood. How could it be fake?" Don't listen to that doctor's nonsense. He must be some relative of Shen Liuo. So he's helping Shen Liuo just to make me suffer from kidney failure and be in serious danger. Would you really bear to see me harmed because of a misunderstanding? Jiang Kai's temples throbbed. Just as she was about to speak, my phone suddenly rang. It was the surveillance video sent by Uncle Lidu. I opened the video and handed it to Jiang Kai. The footage clearly showed Ju Ran snatching the knife, piercing the blood pouch, falling to the ground, and pretending to cry. Jiang Kai held the phone in front of Ju Ran. Her voice was cold. "What else do you have to say?" Ju Ran's face turned pale, but soon his eyes reddened. "Ah Kai, I know I was wrong. I only did this because I was too afraid of losing you." Jiang Kai closed her eyes. "You've said that too many times. I'm tired of hearing it. Shen Liuo is the chef I hired, not your substitute." For the first time, Ju Ran was treated by her like this. He even stopped pretending to be wronged. He froze in place, his face full of disbelief. Jiang Kai turned to me, her tone heavy. "Shen Liuo, I'm sorry about what happened today. I misunderstood you before checking the facts." I sighed. This was not the first time Ju Ran had caused trouble for me, from the stand-in misunderstanding to the welcome banquet farce, and now to this attempt to frame me. I came here to earn 8 million a year cooking, not to act in a melodramatic drama. Ms. Jiang, I accept your apology, but I've decided to resign. Jiang Kai froze for a moment and quickly tried to keep me. "I can raise your salary. I'll also handle Ju Ran's side properly. I won't let him bother you again. It's not about money." I shook my head. "I'm just a cook. I only want to cook peacefully. I don't want to be treated like a substitute and dragged into drama every day." No matter how Jiang Kai tried to persuade me, my attitude remained firm. In the end, she sighed helplessly. "All right, I respect your decision. Your salary and compensation will be transferred to you as soon as possible." After returning to the Jiang home from the hospital, I quickly packed my things and prepared to leave. Uncle Lidu helped while sighing. "If you leave, what am I supposed to do?" He had worked as the Jiang family's housekeeper since Jiang Kai's parents' generation. Over the years, he had long treated the Jiang family as his own home, and he couldn't bear to leave it all. I patted his shoulder. "Uncle Lidu, it's still too early for you to sign now. Think about the future when a Miss Jiang and Ju Ran get married. That will be when your hard days truly arrive." Hearing that, Uncle Liu's vision practically went dark. When I carried my luggage out of the Jiang home, I looked back. Jiang Kai was standing on the second-floor balcony, looking at me with a complicated expression, as if thinking about something. I waved, then turned and got into the taxi. Finally, I could escape Ju Ran's drama, and no longer had to secretly cook around him. It felt unbelievably relaxing. After returning to the apartment I had rented before, I gave myself a vacation. Every day, I slept until I woke naturally, and after waking, I studied new recipes. Life couldn't have been more comfortable. I thought my entanglement with the Jiang family had ended there. Unexpectedly, 3 days later, my phone suddenly exploded with messages. A friend sent me a trending link. The title boldly read, "Scheming substitute kicked out of wealthy family, runs off with valuables. When I clicked in, the video was the scene of me packing my luggage 2 days earlier. Zhu Ran had secretly recorded the video at some point. He deliberately pointed the camera at the luxury goods and watches in my suitcase, with the caption, "I was only abroad for a few months, and a shameless man dress, like me to seduce Akai." He even used Akai's money to buy luxury goods. Now that I've exposed him, he ran off in disgrace. Everyone as the rightful one. Should I get these things back? The comment section exploded. My goodness, is this stand-in literature coming to life? Using someone else's money to buy luxury goods is shameless. I feel bad for the first love guy. The substitute occupied someone else's place for so long. Hurry and return the things. People who get things without earning them are really disgraceful. While I was reading the comments, my phone suddenly received a message from an unknown number. Shen Liuo, you saw the trending topic, right? If you know what's good for you, quickly return the luxury goods that Akai bought. Otherwise, I don't mind making you even more famous. Looking at the message from Zhu Ran, I was so angry I almost laughed. Those luxury goods were clearly bought with my own salary. With my 8 million annual salary, could I not afford a few luxury items? I was just about to reply when my phone rang again. This time, it wasn't Zhu Ran, but Dian Kai calling. About what's happening online, I saw it. I'm sorry. This is because of Zhu Ran again. I'll have the PR team help you investigate, clarify everything, and sue those spreading rumors. Her tone was full of apology. This time, I directly refused. No need. If you step in, won't that confirm I'm the substitute you found? It'll be even harder to explain then. I have my own way to clarify it. No need to trouble you, Miss Jiang. After hanging up, I opened my computer and posted a screenshot of the employment contract I had signed with Jiang Kai. The contract clearly stated an annual salary of 8 million, and the position was private chef. Then I posted the purchase records for those luxury goods one by one. Every receipt was marked with the purchase time and amount. They were all bought after I started work, using my own bank card. I Shen Luo. I am the private chef hired by Miss Jiang Kai with an annual salary of 8 million. I am not a so-called substitute. The luxury goods in the video were all purchased legally with my own income. There was no such thing as running off with valuables. The innocent need no defense. Those spreading rumors, please show some restraint. Once the clarification was posted, the comment section went quiet for a few seconds, then completely exploded. An 8 million a year chef? What kind of divine cooking skill is that? I was wrong, brother. Sorry, with 8 million a year, buying those luxury goods is nothing. So it wasn't stand-in literature? My perspective was too small, so that Zhu Ran was spreading rumors? This move is really confusing. What I didn't expect was that several wealthy heirs and business elites who had attended the welcome banquet also reposted my clarification. A young lady from the finance circle wrote, Mr. Shen's cooking is truly state banquet level. My mother urges me every day to poach him to cook at our house. 8 million a year isn't high at all. Mr. Gang of Hangayu Group wrote, ever since I tasted Mr. Shen's Buddha jumps over the wall last time, I still can't stop thinking about it. Mr. Shen, would you consider opening a private restaurant? I'll be the first to top up a membership card. Mr. Lai of Shenshi Group wrote, whoever slanders Mr. Shen will have a problem with me. If he's a substitute, then what are we, fighting to hire him? Once these big shots spoke up, the comment section completely reversed. Everyone went from gossiping at first to becoming hungry food lovers. Even the big shots have spoken up. How delicious must Mr. Shen's cooking be? Please, Shen Liuo, open a restaurant. I'm willing to line up for 3 days and nights. I feel bad for Shen Liuo. He was treated like a substitute for so long and still got slandered. Looking at the comments, I couldn't help smiling. This time, not only did I not lose out, but I also got free advertising for myself. I was about to reply to netizens saying I would consider opening a private restaurant when my phone received another anonymous message. Attached were several photos and an audio recording. The photos were of Zhu Ran at an overseas hospital for prenatal checkups, as well as signed surgery consent forms. The audio was a conversation between him and a friend. How was I going abroad to relax? It wasn't because I drank too much and ended up having someone's child. I had no choice but to secretly take him overseas. Jiang Kai, that fool, really thought I just wanted to live abroad for a while. She came to see me every week and I couldn't stop her. No way around it. That's the charm of being the first love. I raised an eyebrow. This was counterattack material delivered right to my door. Since Zhu Ran refused to let me go, There was no need for me to be polite either. After redacting the sensitive information from the evidence, I anonymously posted it online, with the caption, "Some people bring this on themselves." What exactly did the first love do during those 3 months abroad? Once the evidence was exposed, the internet completely exploded. Zhu Ran's lies were uncovered, and the netizens who had sympathized with him before all switched sides, calling him deeply calculating, and accusing him of lying to Jiang Kai. Jiang Kai was working abroad at the time. After finally getting some free time, she asked, "How is Shen Liu's reputation online now? Is anyone still criticizing him? If there is, have the PR and legal departments handle it directly?" The assistant shook his head. "No one is criticizing Mr. Shen anymore," but he hesitated for a moment, then showed the messages on his phone to Jiang Kai. As Jiang Kai looked through them, her brows furrowed tighter and tighter. After finishing work, she returned home overnight. She threw the phone in front of Zhu Ran and questioned him coldly. "What exactly is all this?" Zhu Ran looked at the photos and recording, his face turning pale, but he still tried to argue. "It was Shen Liu. He framed me. These are all fake. The medical form has your signature. The recording has your voice. Are you still going to argue?" Jiang Kai's voice was filled with disappointment. "All these years, I really misjudged you. Uncle Liu, pack up his things and send him away from the Zhonghom. From now on, he is not allowed to step inside again." Zhu Ran froze for a moment, but suddenly laughed. "I understand. The plot must have reached the part where the male and female leads are stirred up by the substitute, and the misunderstanding deepens. Jiang Kai, if you kick me out now, you'll regret it sooner or later, when you realize that the one you love is me, and come begging me. I won't forgive you so easily." He was certain Jiang Kai would eventually stage a regretful chase scene. While packing his things, he even put on an expression that said, "I'll wait for you," to beg me to come back, then left the Jiang home without looking back. Jiang Kai watched his back and sighed helplessly, looking at the empty room. She suddenly missed the warmth and liveliness of the past. After hesitating for a long time, she took out her phone and still called me. "Shen Luo, I still need to apologize to you for Zhu Ran. MS, Jiang, you've already apologized once. You didn't call me today, just for that, did you? Nothing can get past you." She hesitated for a while, then continued, "I saw the recent online comments. I wanted to ask if you'd consider opening a private restaurant. I can invest. You don't need to put in a single cent. All the profits would belong to you." I froze for a moment, then couldn't help laughing. "MS, Chun, are you actually trying to hire me back to cook in a roundabout way?" "No, I just feel your cooking should be known by more people." Her voice was a little unnatural. "And besides, my stomach really isn't used to food made by anyone else." I thought about it. Opening a private restaurant had been my plan anyway. If someone was willing to invest without interfering, why not? "Fine, but I have one condition. You can't use your identity as an investor to interfere with my operations. And if you want to eat, you still have to make a reservation and line up. No special treatment." "No problem." Jiang Kai agreed immediately. After that, with Jiang Kai's help, my private restaurant flourished. Jiang Kai really kept her promise. She never interfered with my operations, and whenever she came to eat, she obediently lined up. She came to my private restaurant for all 3 meals every day. Life seemed to have returned to before, when I cooked for her at the Zhong home and helped care for her stomach. Only this time, there was no longer Zhu Ran to disturb us. I had once curiously asked Jiang Kai why Zhu Ran never came looking for her again. Her expression at the time looked as if she had swallowed a fly. It was only after Uncle Liu told me that I learned she had sent him away. Before leaving the Zheng home, he said the plot had reached the part where the male and female leads were misled by the substitute, and their misunderstanding deepened. He seemed certain that next I would suddenly come to my senses and go chase after him. I couldn't help sighing. Zhu Ran really was determined to keep his first love persona intact. After that, Jiang Kai and I tacitly never mentioned Zhu Ran again. Whenever Jiang Kai came to eat, she always brought me a small gift. Sometimes it was just a wildflower from the roadside, and sometimes it was a new piece of jewelry from a recent collection. When I accepted the gifts, I smiled and teased Jiang Kai. Before, you only had to pay 8 million a year to hire me to cook. Now when you come here to eat, not only do you pay, you also bring me gifts. I'm afraid it's already more than 8 million. She smiled gently. As long as you like it. Meeting her tender eyes, my heart suddenly started beating fast. After spending half a year with Jiang Kai day and night, one day she came to eat and brought a huge bouquet of roses as a gift. I didn't accept it right away, but asked Jiang Kai, "Do you know what giving roses means?" Jiang Kai nodded. "It means, all my money will be under your management from now on. So, are you willing to manage it?" Who wouldn't be willing? I smiled and nodded. My relationship with Jiang Kai warmed up rapidly, and we soon decided to get married. The wedding was set for a bright and sunny weekend. The guests were our relatives, friends, and regular customers of the private restaurant. I wore a suit and was preparing my wedding vows in the lounge when housekeeper Liu wiped his tears beside me. You don't know how excited I was when I heard, "Miss, Jiang was marrying you. This is wonderful." Thankfully, Miss Jiang didn't marry Zhu Ran. My future isn't complete darkness anymore. He clearly still remembered what I said on the day I resigned, and his face was now full of relief. I froze for a moment, realizing that it had been a long time since I last paid attention to any news about Zhu Ran. The more you fear something, the more it comes. Just as I was holding Jiang Kai's hand and about to exchange rings, the hall doors were suddenly slammed open. Zhu Ran rushed in, his hair messy, his eyes wild, and a glass bottle in his hand. "Shen Liuo, you shameless substitute. Not only did you drive a wedge between Ah Kai and me, you even created the plot where Ah Kai regrets everything and stole my wedding with Ah Kai. You're finished." He charged toward me, raising the bottle to splash it at me. Inside was a corrosive liquid. Fortunately, Jiang Kai had been prepared in advance and arranged bodyguards. They immediately rushed forward and stopped him. Zhu Ran was held down on the floor, still shouting wildly, "Why? I am clearly the first love male lead. The plot should clearly be about me and Ah Kai, going through all kinds of misunderstandings, then living happily in the end. Why did it become like this?" The authorities arrived quickly and took Zhu Ran away. Watching his hysterical state as he was dragged out, I couldn't help sighing. Even now, he was still living inside a melodramatic novel, never recognizing reality. Looking at the bottle on the floor, Jiang Kai held my hand tightly with lingering fear. "How are you? Are you okay?" "I'm fine." I smiled and comforted her. I even had the mood to joke. Zhu Ran always thought he was the first love male lead in a novel, and that you were the female lead. You wouldn't actually be one, would you? Jiang Kai helplessly kissed my chin. "Even if I am the female lead, the living male lead will only be you." We smiled at each other. At the moment we exchanged rings, applause rang through the banquet hall. Life after marriage remained simple and warm. Jiang Kai's stomach condition completely recovered. Every day, her greatest joy was following me around the kitchen and occasionally helping me taste dishes. My chain of private restaurants became more and more popular, but I still insisted on developing new dishes myself. Once, during an interview, a reporter asked me, "Mr. Shen, is your current success because after the substitute rose to the top, you had President Jiang's support?" He was clearly trying to stir trouble. Jiang Kai's face instantly darkened from the side, and she wanted to step in front of me and answer for me, but I held her back and smiled at the reporter. No one is ever someone else's substitute. My success today is simply because I'm a cook who loves cooking.